Acquisitions look sexy, right? And 40 million sounds better than 12 million. But at the end of the day, focusing on organic growth is always going to win. Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to the 88 Show. This is the internet's only dental show, where we talk about what matters most in marketing. I am your host, Joshua Scott, coming back with part 2 of episode 113. We're talking about group practice marketing and really 4 tips to build an effective multi-site strategy. Want to talk about it over these next few weeks. Go back and watch part 1. But today, I want to talk about part 2, which is focusing on organic growth. Here's the situation right now in this kind of group practice DSO expansion world. What's fueling it is, by traditional standards, you're a solo practitioner with a solo practice, one location practice. You go to sell that practice, you are going to get a 3 to 5 time EBITDA return on that practice. If you don't know what that is, it's earnings before interest, tax, and amortization. It's the standard by which they sell practices. What's happening is if you can put 10 practices together, now you can sell all 10 of those for a 10 to 12 times multiple. So the valuation goes way up. Look, that's all really, really rough numbers, and there's way more into it for sure, but that's behind what's fueling this expansion. I have literally seen practices, owners that are trying to do what they can to get 10 practices together, and whether it's 10 or whether it's 10 million or whatever that number is, but to flip it then to a mid-sized group in a recapitalization event so that they can just get that return on their investment. If you could sell something for 3 to 5 times or sell it for 10 to 12 times, why wouldn't you want to do that, right? But it takes this kind of growth of putting together 10 practices or a certain revenue goal to get that return. And so whether that's you or whether you have a goal of starting up 50 new practices over the next 10 years, fueled by a capital investment from a private equity group underneath that, here's the thing we have to focus on. Organic growth rules. It's king, okay? So acquisition growth looks sexy. If I have a $28 million group practice over X amount of locations and we acquire another group, buy them out for 12 million, that $40 million in revenue looks way sexier and way more appealing to investors than 28 million. And that's some of what's happening right now. But organic growth always wins. And the group practices that are doing the best have a focus on this. And the reason you can tell this from my standpoint as an outside person looking in, when I'm talking to owners and groups, the almost number one way I can tell this, are they focused on organic growth or not, is do they have a marketing budget for each location? If they do, that means they're investing in that practice, they're growing. It's not enough to just acquire it for the revenue's sake, but they also want it to grow. They want to progress it. If they're acquiring practices and starting them up and there's no marketing budget, it's literally a numbers game. It's how big can we get, because there's a recapitalization event down the road. We're gonna sell out to a bigger group. Owners are gonna cash out, make their profit, and jet. And so organic growth always wins. We focus on that. 3 action steps. Here's what you can do to make sure you're focusing on that. Number 1 is create a patient referral program. There's probably no better way and cheaper way, honestly, to grow than getting your current patients to refer friends and family. So make sure every practice has a system like that implemented. It happens like clockwork. Man, if I was a business owner, that would be like number 1 priority. Make sure referrals are coming in. Number 2, online reviews. Making sure those happen. Get a good system in place. Get, Swell CX or Bird Eye, something like that, or create your own organic, way to do that. But reviews are a great way to make sure that your organic reach is hitting the community and it's reaching more people. And then last, set aside a community budget for each of these practices. When you get into multi-site, it gets challenging because how do you get involved in the community? How do you get involved, like giving back in community events? Set aside a budget for each location. Let them spend that how they want to, community involvement, places they think they need to be, to always stay integrated in the community those practices are involved with. Guys, I hope that helps. Focus on organic growth. Don't focus on the acquisitions. This month's article, Group Practice Marketing, you'll find that link down below. Would love to get your thoughts on that. Also, You want to check me out online, connect with me, best place is at Instagram, at Joshua Scott. Would love to hear from you too. That is part 2 of episode 113. Guys, I'll see you around part 3.